Hi guys, I'm Alice Green and welcome back to the Funky Evolution Party. So, today I thought that I would cover a topic that really everybody's like, religion. And I want to talk about what the fuck is religion and why are we blowing up people's homes, displacing them, starving them, and then saying this is what God wanted us to do. It's a load of BS. I'm sorry, but I can't keep on this path because throughout all of my life, I've been looked at like the devil's child, and it's like the devil's got nothing on you. And I laugh because they all pray and they all go to church, or they all sit on their mats, or they wear their burqas and judging me while I'm the one who is literally creating life around me. And I want to take us through a deep delve of the history of religion. And the first thing I want to start on is if you are a Christian, let's start from the beginning. If you are a Jew, if you are a Christian, if you are a Muslim, this is an Arab religion, a Middle Eastern philosophy that has taken over the world. So who are the barbarians? Is it the ones where the religion has progressed into Islam and it's like actually you only defend yourself versus fully attacking and destroying and calling us barbarians when you're following our religion? Now, let's get this clear. The West were pagans who believed in sacrifice, who believed in gods. And then along came the Arabs, or even better, the Romans, who invaded Lebanon and invaded that part of the world, took this religion and brought it back to try and control people in the West. Now, anyone know about the Roman Empire and its complete destruction? Because that's what happens is when you go into people's homes and people's lands, you try to force them and control them and say, this is what God wanted us to do. You are actually bringing your own downfall, because that's not what God wanted us to do. You go through to pre the Abrahamic religions, you go to the Buddha, who gave up, he was a prince and he gave up everything to live a life of nothingness, to know that actually we do not need all of these material possessions to feel love, to be at one with God and our enlightenment. These possessions, these I need, this is mine and I'm going to take it regardless, is actually the devil's work. And if you cannot see that, then you seriously need a reality check, because everyone in the West that's going, oh, Christianity, it's coming up to Christmas. You're blowing up the church in Bethlehem. Where was Jesus born? He was not African. He was not Western and white with blue eyes. Or it could have been, because Arabs have blue eyes as well. And you're sitting there and you're picking on us and you're blowing up our homes and you're destroying everything. Destroying. And going, oh, well, he has a right to do that. No, nobody has a right to destroy, regardless of where you live, where you're from, or what religion you practice. If you're a Buddhist, you're not supposed to kill anything, right? And you go around the globe and there's so many different religions besides Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, right? Hundreds of different religions, and all we are actually witnessing is Satanism. And I am tired of it. I am tired of every day waking up to the slog, looking around, being robbed on every single corner you look. Every time you open up the news, all you see is destruction. The selling of our farms, poisoning our cows, poisoning us every single step of the way. Why? Is that God? Is that religion? Is that what God said? Oh, you are the superior ones. You are entitled to do all these horrible things. No. You're basing something on a 3,000-year-old pirate map that has been written, rewritten, and rewritten again so it can control people. That is not the path to enlightenment. If you want to understand the path to enlightenment, it's about letting go. It's about understanding that through our pain, we will then realize how we should treat other people. Respectfulness, kindness, helping each other, charity. These are the foundations of religion and what makes a good society. Not having governments wage wars, blow everything up. Like now, I live in London. We're waging war on Russia and Iran and everywhere else. So What happens over there doesn't just affect what happens over there. These things come onto our shores. You want to invade other people? Guess what? They're going to invade you because it's not about religion. And when you want to say that God said that we should do this, actually, God didn't say anything like that. If you read through every single religious text, it's about helping thy neighbor, not being an abusive domestic violence, because that's what's happening in the Middle East right now. It's domestic violence. There's given land that didn't actually belong to the British, who gave it to somebody else, which is a bunch of misfits from Europe that they didn't want there, saying, oh, you're entitled to this, as long as you don't fucking come back, right? That was the point of sending them there, right? Then all of a sudden, they're like, bah, throw things, blow things up, and we're going to keep destroying your economy, and we're going to keep doing this, and we're just going to carpet bomb the city. For what? For what? There's a little girl who almost had her dream set on being a footballer, a female footballer, now got shrapnel in her brain. And then you've got the BBC awarding men a prize for women. Where does the madness stop? If you want to truly say that you believe in God, and I don't care how that is, then actually study the texts, know where your history comes from, because it comes from the Middle East. It comes from my land. It comes from my people. And I don't sit there and preach that, you know, you should do this and you should do that. Like, let's talk about the burqa. Let's talk about nuns and why it's important for people to cover themselves, and why the woman's hair is the part of her vanity, and it's about reducing our vanity, reducing this externalism when all the answers are within us, right? They could take your home away tomorrow. What skills do you have to build yourself back? Will you starve on the streets, or will you follow the scriptures and come together and work together? Because this is the foundations of our society. You have built an entire Western civilization on Christianity, which is a Middle Eastern philosophy. Okay, let's get this straight and get this clear. And yes, I am angry. I have watched people lose their homes. I've watched entire villages being blown up. I've seen people struggle. So my mom, who moved to Australia, had no education, got an education, got a job, saved up all her money so she could buy her dad's house, only to watch it get blown up. Because world leaders think that's somebody's right. Who's right? There is no rights here. The rights is, these are generations of people that have lived on these lands. The olive trees, which is a symbol of peace, have been torn apart, been ripped up, been destroyed and decimated. For what? Anyone who is part of the region of any Mediterranean knows that the olive tree is sacred. And you want to talk to me about religion, you want to talk to me about bullshit, and I'm sorry, I'm done with this. Because if you want to call yourselves a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim or any of that, start understanding where it comes from. Start understanding what the actual basic principles are before you sit there and claim all your rights to destroying absolutely everything. Because that's not religion. Religion is not cutting down all our trees and putting carbon captures. Religion is not saying, well, you're a this and you're a that, and let's segregate you. Actually, we're supposed to learn from each other. They are designed differently because people are different. Okay? And when we're talking about the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine, it's not that you can then all of a sudden become a man or a woman. That is fucking delusion. And I'm tired of delusion. Let's start working on facts. Let's start looking at reality and stop living in this delusion that we can go use the entire country's taxes. So this is the other thing. Little old ladies, we can't afford to give you a winter fuel allowance, but poor Ukraine, they're going to suffer this winter. The Palestinians have got tents that have got, it's flooding. They've got children have no clothes. You want to talk to me about children's rights while we watch them freeze to death, starve to death? What, become orphans? For what? For what? When will this actual global community realize how destructive you are in the name of God? Right? This assisted death. It's frigging allowing people to commit suicide. Oh, you can't afford to pay your bills, you know, you're old, you can't afford, just kill yourself. Oh, do you know what? You're young, you got mental health issues, just kill yourself. You got Down syndrome, it's too much of a struggle, just kill yourself. Then just take that, because we're going to kill you anyway. Oh, and if you won't take that, we're just going to poison the cows and poison everything else. So eventually, the end result is death. So until you guys come to terms with where your actual philosophies come from, the actual basic principles, the basic frigging principles of religion, then I suggest you stop using it. I suggest you stop claiming to be Jewish or claiming to be Christian or claiming to be Muslim. You are fucking atheist. You are actually more on the satanic side of life. And until you pick up your scriptures, open up the pages. So here, first page, the Proverbs, you know, go through, ask the Bible, ask the Quran. None of it says kill each other. There was barbarism in the past, and this was designed to stop it. But no. Democracy. It's not democracy. Look at the way it's actually spelled. It's demon. It's not democratic. It's demonic. Read it properly. This is the world being taken over by the legion of demons, and it's up to us. If you have any belief in you, then you will stand up and you will fight, and you will not accept all this that is being force-fed down our throats. Oh, let's just silence them, oppress them, right? Antisocial behavior. This is going to be a bit of a long one because I'm annoyed, right? Antisocial behavior to say anything about anyone, right? While I'm online, I'm actually quite antisocial. People don't come into my home. I don't invite people. I'm not interested. The only socializing I do is online. But guess what? That's antisocial. What do you want people to have? Deep depression, to be really oppressed and inhibited and become slaves? Yeah, that's exactly what God wanted for humanity. Think about it. Snap yourselves out of it. No matter how much money you have, nothing is going to save you from what's coming next. So I suggest you... Well, what do I suggest? This is a good question because I've ranted, and my suggestion is that you all take a step back. You want to call yourselves Catholic? Where is the Holy Spirit? Who is it? There's a Father, there's a Son. Oh, who created the Father and the Son? There has to be a woman in there. So the demonization of women, number one, which is where we're seeing 70% of women and children are the ones that are being attacked and blown up and displaced and starved. So there is so much to unpick on this religion BS because, sure, I'm not practicing anything, particularly more of a Buddhist than anything else. And if I was a Buddhist sitting in a mountain somewhere, I'd be like, what's wrong with these people? Because there is lots wrong with you, and it's the bad programming, and it's the lies, and it's the rewritten texts that you're entitled to things. I'm not entitled to keep this house. I'm not entitled to anything. I'll work for things. And I'm sorry, what is happening, the working of destruction, does not entitle you to something. So let's get our shit together. Let's start looking at the text. If you plan on celebrating Christmas, know where the actual religion comes from. Start having respect for the Holy Land. And I'm going to leave it at that because I could rant on and on. I don't want to be that person that makes 2-hour videos. I could pull you up every single religion on the face of the planet and tell you the foundations are all the same. So get your shit together. Start looking at these foundations. Are you built on sand, or are you actually a strong, solid foundation? Because all I see is sandcastles and a tsunami is coming. So please like, share, and get the message out there.